What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Sega Man back here with another video. Uh, Today's video is going to be about forgotten racing games. Now, I know a lot of you come to my channel to check out Game Talk with Sega Man. I hope you guys are really enjoying my little podcast that I do. You know what I'm saying? You know me as, on Sega Man, my podcast with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? E-Rock, the Exile podcast. You know what I mean? And I hope you guys are having a good week. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys are playing games that you love. I hope you guys are enjoying your Series S's and X's. You know what I'm saying? Much love out to the true diehard Xbox fans out there. I want to give a real quick shout out to my man 100 and Intro Media Gaming. Xbox has no games podcast that comes on Saturdays at 11:30 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to all those good brothers out there, Chaos and Flip Money. You know what I'm saying? Livewire, of course, 100. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to all them good brothers on there. You know what I'm saying? Punisher, you know him too. Shouts out to you, brother. I rock out with those brothers. I've been friends with 100 for a long time. You know what I mean? It's good that he has his own podcast now. You know what I'm saying? It's doing very well. Shouts out to them good diehard brothers. Always support people that support you. If you're out here making videos, doing podcasts, support ones that support you. If they don't support you, in my opinion, you shouldn't shout them out or give them any shine because, in my opinion, uh, they're just for themselves. So let's get started here, guys. Now I know Sega Man. I've been into racing games for a long time. Been into racing games for a very long time, from back when the Atari was out with Pole Position till now, 2021. And I have a lot of racing games in all my systems that I collect, from Sega to Nintendo, to everything that I own. I own racing games for those systems. You know what I mean? But we're going to get into some racing games I believe, that were forgotten about. You know what I mean? That you don't hear people really talking about that much. I wish that these games would make a comeback. And so let's go back down memory lane uh, in the Xbox early days with the 360 and the OG. They had a lot of racing games that came out for the OG Xbox and the 360. You know what I mean? Very, very good racing games. And the few games that I selected, I hope you have played or will be willing to go out and buy. If you still own these systems, because they're not back and pat yet, and we're going to talk about that. I want these games to come back and pat because Microsoft, the Xbox is actually the leader in backwards compatibility right now, and there's a lot of diehard fans of backwards compatibility games out there. Believe it or not, it's not people out there saying who wants to play old games. It just isn't. There's a lot of people out there that still want to play old games, and they want to see those games in 4K 30, or uh, graphics really updated, and it looks like a brand new game. So let's start out with this game, which was really good, and it was at the time the best racing game out there on any system, in my opinion. And it was only on Xbox, and that is Project Gotham Racing. Project Gotham Racing. This game really needs to come back. This game, when I first got this game, I was blown away because before I had my Xbox, I was playing Daytona USA on my Dreamcast, Sega GT. But Microsoft Studios and Bizarre Creations made a great creation, which is Project Gotham Racing. And this is an awesome game. And at the time, uh, the graphics in this game was beautiful. You know what I mean? Um, the environments were awesome, very breathtaking. You know what I mean? Car physics and everything was really good on this game. You know what I mean? Really awesome music in it. And remember, back then you can play your own music to your games. But there's been a couple people out there that really don't know the history of Xbox. Now they're saying that the original OG Xbox was the only one where you can play your own music in the games. Well, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. You can also play your own music in your games on the 360. You know what I mean? So if you burn your music into your 360 and you go to the music player in there, you stop the game, right? And then you play and you put on, you go through your tracks through there and you put on what you want to play. And you can still play your music in your games on your 360. There's just people out there, I think, that just were misinformed, that they just didn't know too much about the 360 to know that. But you can play music while you're playing games in your 360. But anyway, Project Gotham Racing, one of the best games, guys. If you are interested at all of collecting for the OG Xbox, I highly recommend you pick up Project Gotham Racing. It is a very awesome racing game on the Xbox, and I own them all. I own all of the Project Gotham racing games. They were really great games, and I wish and hope Microsoft would bring this back. Now, I know Forza is the king of racing, but it would be an honor if you guys can really bring this racing game back because it is a forgotten gem in the racing games. And I believe they should bring this back, man. Project Gotham Racing was an awesome game. It's good to own if you're going to collect for your OG Xbox. Okay. Now, this is a game that was really good, very good racing game. This was on a 360. Is Baja 1000. It's a very good off-road racing game. You know, I don't really hear too much about it right now when people do videos about nostalgia racing games. But this is another great game to own for your 360, and pretty sure you can get this fairly cheap. The graphics at the time were, they were normal. They weren't that, super great, but they were pretty good. They weren't bad and they weren't great graphics, but it was a very fun game. When you play these games, you don't want to, you don't play a game honestly for graphics, guys. You play it for the fun factor and what else the game has to offer. You know what I mean? But this game is a pretty awesome game. You know what I mean? I played it a lot. This is by Activision. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people hate Activision right now. It isn't complete with the little booklet in there, but it's a really good off-road racing game where you can use quads, off-road trucks, dirt bikes, and different things like that. But it is an awesome game to actually get and own for your 360. You could perfectly find these games pretty cheap on Amazon or eBay, or if you have a local mom and pop's game store, they might have it for around $10 or something like that. Now, another great game, an awesome game that people really loved, made by Activision. You know what I mean? A very good game, very popular game. You know what I mean? And it is Blur. Blur is another great game to own for your 360. Yeah, I mean, this game was pretty good game. It was inventive with the way they did the missions in here that you had to do. Um, it was a multiplayer game. You know what I mean? You can get different badges in it, stunts, nitro. You can get shock where you shock the other cars. You know what I mean? Kind of like a little bit, not really like Burnout, Revenge, but you know, um, very creative. You know what I mean? Very nice game. This is another game by Bizarre Creations. You know what I mean? But it is a really good racing game. It is very fun. So if you could find this, you could probably find it pretty cheap. On Amazon or eBay. But Blur was another great racing game. I'm been into racing games for so long, and I always try to look for racing games that I don't have. But Blur was very fun. It's very addicting. So if you get a chance, you have your a 360, pick up Blur. You know what I mean? These are games that I want to actually come back and pat. You know what I mean? And hopefully with the new back and pat they're working on, these games are going to become available on the Series S and X and on your One X or whatever you have. You know what I mean? So the next one we have here, which a lot of people don't talk about, I don't really hear about, and it was fun when it came out, and I played a hell of a lot of it. It is definitely a forgotten racing game, action racing game, you might as well say. It's made by Sega, okay, and that is a game called Full Auto. Full Auto is another great game to get for your 360. Now Full Auto came out probably around the time that the 360 came out, I believe. You know what I mean? And it's very fun. It's actually built for the 360. You know what I mean? It's just great. It has a lot of destruction in it. Multiplayer. It's an awesome game. Full Auto. This needs to come back. They need to make Full Auto again. You know what I mean? Maybe start from the ground up for these next gen consoles. If you're into these type of games, this would be a great game to have on the One X. And the Series X, and that is to bring back Full Auto. Maybe make it exclusive for our system. You know what I mean? But it's a great game, guys. It's really fun. So if you collect for 360, and this might have flew under your radar, check out Full Auto. You won't be disappointed, man. There's a lot of action in here, destruction, just fun, good old racing, carnage fun. You might as well say. So that's another one to maybe look at. You know what I mean? Now another one made by Sega. This does need to really come back. This really deserves to come back, and that is Sega Rally. They need to put these games back in pat. You know what I mean? Or make another Sega Rally, guys, please, and put it on the next gen systems. This is another great game. Sega Rally on the Sega Saturn was an awesome, very addictive game for me back in that time, and I played it over and over and over again. Very arcadish style. The announcer sounds like if you're in the arcade, you hear the announcer say, "Are you ready? Go!" Or race. You know what I mean? This is a great game, guys. Sega Rally will go down in gaming in racing gaming history as one of my favorite racing games of all time. And it was the best on the Sega Saturn. It also was good on the Dreamcast. But they really need to bring some of these good racing games back, or make them back and pat. You know what I mean? So if you like rally games, Sega Rally is definitely one you should add to your 360 collection or pick up. Another great game. Now I'll just show this one real quick. This was Project Gotham Racing 4. And I have them all, like I told you. This was a very good game. They implemented motorcycles in it. This was an awesome game. I believe this was the last one that they made was PGR 4. Another one by Bizarre Creations. These are must own racing games because these are very fun. A lot of people forgot about Project Gotham Racing, man. You know what I mean? And they really need to bring these games back, or make them back in pat. Another great racing game, guys. Very fun, very enjoyable. You know what I mean? Awesome. There's cars that are like Ferrari. You know what I mean? GM cars, everything in there. It is a great game, guys, to own for your 360. Now, the last one we have, uh, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this game. I had a lot of fun with this game. There's a lot to do in this game. Kind of like a sandboxy racing game. It was very popular at the time. It is by Atari. You know what I mean? They really awesome. They really should make this back and pat. And game would look great in 4K 60 or 4K 30. You know what I mean? Very great game. Very beautiful, breathtaking worlds in there. The maps, the scenery, very breathtaking. And that is Test Drive. Test Drive was an awesome game, man. Awesome game on the 360, man. I've really enjoyed this game. You know what I mean? It's by Atari. You know what I mean? But this Test Drive game, man, is awesome. You know what I mean? And I played hours and hours of this game. You know what I mean? And it's a really good racing game, guys. Even the graphics at the time for the 360, it was awesome. So imagine what Microsoft Xbox Tech Ninjas can do with this game. This is an awesome game. It definitely needs to be brought back. If you are a racing enthusiast gamer like I am, this is definitely worth picking up for your Xbox OG or Xbox 360 collection. You know what I mean? We have the best racing game right now on the planet, which is Forza, and I believe it's going to stay king of racing. You know what I mean? But let's not forget the OG racing games that were fun. They're still fun today, and they deserve to become back and pat, you know, on the Xbox, and hopefully on the new gen Xboxes that they're going to do that, man. You know what I mean? That would be really awesome to see, you know. So I'm going to go now, but guys, check out the Exile podcast tonight. It's at 8 p.m. Check us out, all of us on there, all the Exile brothers. You know what I mean? But I want to say something real quick before I go. I am very proud and happy to be a part of the Exile podcast. Everybody on our podcast has a difference of opinion. They all come from different places, different, they're all different. Everybody is like from Tuck to E-Rock to Hebot to Unlimited to me. We're all different, you know, and we love doing what we do on our podcast. Some people might take us being a little off. Well, then, yeah, we are then. We're a little off. We're the Exile Podcast, and we like the name of the podcast. You know what I mean? And we're all different. You know what I mean? So come and check out a different type of Xbox podcast, which is the Exile Podcast. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to everybody that supports us, from Emmanuel 1 to Lewis, everybody that comes and checks us out every Sunday. Very loyal listeners and watchers of the Exile podcast. Shouts out to all of you. Now, I know I can't name all of you right now, but Sega Man really appreciates it. The Exile brothers appreciate you coming. Please give your comments on what we talk about in our podcast, guys. We really do appreciate it. You know what I mean? And we just love what we do, and we love our podcast, and we're going to support it. You know what I mean? And we, like I said before I leave, we support people in the gaming community that support us. You know what I mean? There's a lot of podcasts out there, you know, unfortunately, they're just for themselves. You know what I mean? But that's their business. I really don't care. You know what I mean? If you support us, we support you. All right. So you guys have a great week. Peace and love, guys. Xbox for life. We don't die, we multiply. Peace.